Ghosts, ghouls, zombies, witches, vampires, demons. They all have one thing in common. They aren't real. Or are they? There are countless people who not only claim to believe in the supernatural and living dead, but base their entire identity around it. Let's start this journey into abnormality with one of the most common paranormal beliefs: ghosts. Ghosts are one of the world's oldest superstitions, with tales of phantoms, spirits, poltergeists and bedsheet dwellers dating all the way back to the 1st century AD. This is when Roman author Pliny the Younger wrote about the spirit of an old man haunting his villa. Since then, there have been too many supposed hauntings to count, from Amityville to Enfield. According to YouGov, 1 in 3 British people believe in ghosts, with 1 in 4 believing that a house can be haunted. While many people who believe in ghosts just have a passing belief, not really taking it too seriously, there are still plenty of people who make this belief a key part of their identity. Ghost hunters and paranormal investigators are abundant, as are those who believe they can actually talk to the dead. I decided to get in contact with someone who actually believes in ghosts and has had paranormal experiences of their own, or so they claim. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, I believe in ghosts.
When did you start to believe in ghosts?
When I was a child, I don't know exactly what age I was, but I stayed at my nana's house. It was a big old Victorian house, and I used to see kids coming in playing, but I didn't realise that it was a ghost at the time.
Have you ever had a paranormal experience?
Loads, growing up, till I was a teenager really, and then they sort of stopped or dwindled off. I had a friend that lived in a house, a terrace house, just a normal average terrace house, and I was with a group of other friends. We kept hearing something upstairs, so we went upstairs and had a look, and there was nobody there or anything. We thought somebody was hiding, so we checked all the wardrobes and everything. It was only a 2-bedroom house, that was all that was upstairs, 2 bedrooms. We heard a load of noise again, so we went up and had a look again, and all the bedrooms had been trashed, like tipped upside down, like there'd been a burglar. And then it had a door at the bottom of the stairs, and we were all sat in the living room, and we heard someone run down the stairs, and the door flew open, and then all the lights went out, and we ran off.
Have you ever been to a psychic or any other kind of paranormal expert?
I've been to a few. I've had private readings, and I've been to group ones.
How does your belief affect your identity?
I do believe that I'll see my loved ones that aren't with us any longer again, or I will go on to experience something else, and it's not just the end. So I think it's quite positive in a way.
So, are ghosts real? I don't know, maybe. There definitely are unexplained phenomena that resemble what we might refer to as a haunting, but for all we know, these could have perfectly rational explanations that we just haven't seen yet. What is for certain is, real or not, the belief in ghosts has influenced people's identities for centuries and will probably continue to do so for centuries to come. Now let's move on to something that's either much more believable or much less believable, depending on who you ask: cryptids. Cryptids, for those not in the know, are creatures that have not yet been proven to exist by science. There are countless examples all over the world, from the Fresno nightcrawlers to Black Shuck, from the Mothman to the Wendigo. The most famous of these, however, is undoubtedly Bigfoot. Oh, and the Scottish one. Stories of Bigfoot, or at least a similar creature to it, date back anywhere from 500 to 1,000 years. At Painted Rock, a sacred Native American site in California, there is a petroglyph, which many believe shows a family of Bigfoot, or Big Feet. In the 16th century, also in California, Spanish explorers and Mexican settlers told stories of what they called the Dark Watchers. These Dark Watchers were large ape-like creatures which stalked their camp at night. Ever since then, stories of Bigfoot or a similar Sasquatch have been told time and time again. However, it wasn't until the 1900s when alleged photographic evidence began to emerge. Most of this so-called evidence is absolutely fake, but there are some examples that can't so easily be explained away. Most famous of these examples is 1967's Patterson-Gimlin film. This footage, shot by Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, shows what they claim is a female Bigfoot. While many assume this was just someone in a monkey suit, many experts have come out over the years to expel that theory. Various makeup artists, special effects experts and costume designers have studied the footage extensively. According to these experts, the alleged Bigfoot makes such complex movements that if it were a suit, it would have to be tailor-made to whoever was wearing it and would have cost thousands of dollars. While this doesn't fully debunk the theory that it could be a suit, it makes it highly unlikely. In America, especially in California, there is no shortage of supposed Bigfoot experts and hunters who have dedicated their lives to proving the existence of the beast. Rather than interview a specific person with a firm belief in cryptids, I decided to go to the public to see what they make of it. Excuse me.
Oh.
Do you believe in cryptids?
Yes. Some.
Yes, I do.
No, I just don't think they exist.
What cryptids do you believe in?
The Loch Ness Monster.
Bigfoot.
Mothman. Aliens if they count, UFOs.
So, cryptids, are they real? Well, some of them absolutely, but others absolutely not. Take for example giant squid, which was technically a cryptid up until we got the first piece of footage of a living specimen in 2002. As long as creatures remain undiscovered, cryptids will continue to affect the identities of people who search for them, research them, and just have a general interest in them. Finally, time to move on to another unexplained, unidentified creature, aliens. Much like ghosts and cryptids, aliens have been part of culture for longer than I can remember, so longer than 20 years at least. The first major recorded UFO sighting came in 1947. This is when pilot Kenneth Arnold saw a group of 9 unknown flying objects about 20 miles to the left of his plane. Arnold estimated that these mysterious objects are about 45 feet in width and flew at over 1,700 miles per hour, 3 times greater than any known aircraft could have achieved at the time. Since Arnold's close encounter, thousands of UFOs have been reported almost every year all over the world, with over 7,200 reported global sightings in 2020 alone. Despite this, sightings of actual aliens remain rare. While it's hard to find any accurate data that separates sightings of little green men and their flying saucers, it's much more common for the spacecraft themselves to be the only thing spotted. However, this isn't to say that supposed extraterrestrials are never encountered. For example, let's go back to 1947 to the town of Roswell, New Mexico. It was here that, mere weeks after Kenneth Arnold's fateful encounter, debris of an unidentified flying object was reported to have crash-landed and scattered all over the ranch of a man named Mac Brazel. In fact, the debris was initially found by Brazel around 2 weeks before Arnold's widely reported encounter, and it wasn't until Brazel journeyed into town and heard the news that he considered the possibility of something not of this world. The incident was quickly dismissed by the military, located at the nearby Roswell Air Base, as nothing more than a crashed weather balloon, and, for a couple of decades, that's where the story ended. Then, in 1980, Major Jesse Marcel, the only person known to have accompanied the wreckage from Brazel's ranch to the air base, sat down for an interview as part of the documentary TV series In Search Of. In this interview, Marcel claimed that, while the military told the press that it was a weather balloon, both he and his boss, General Roger Ramey, knew that was a lie. In every interview he participated in, Marcel denied the presence of any alien bodies. Enter civil engineer Grady Barnett. In his book, The Roswell Incident, published in 1980, Barnett claimed that he, along with a group of archaeology students, encountered strange wreckage and, most importantly, alien bodies in the plains of New Mexico, before being escorted away by armed soldiers. Ever since Barnett made these claims, there have been numerous second-hand accounts of alien bodies coming from Roswell. This includes from the likes of morticians who claim to have performed autopsies on alien bodies on behalf of the New Mexico military. These days, most people believe that if anything did really crash at Roswell, it didn't contain an alien corpse. However, almost every year, the world's governments declassify more and more documents that show that the world's most powerful countries still invest heavily into researching aliens and UFO encounters. Paradoxically, aliens are amongst the most commonly accepted and most commonly debunked of supernatural phenomena. For every believer, there's a denier. For every reported encounter, there are numerous disputed cases. However, it's undeniable that belief in the extraterrestrial shapes many people's identity. From ufologists, casual believers, and good old-fashioned tinfoil hat wearers, it allows them to question the narrative, investigate the unknown, and have faith that the truth is out there. This just scratches the surface of the paranormal, the supernatural, and the super weird that shape people's identities. While ghosts, cryptids and aliens are amongst the most highly debated, they are far from the only supernatural phenomena that get people interested and talking.